The Spanish Civil War wasn't just a clash of ideologies. It was a proving ground for modern warfare. But Franco didn't win through politics alone. With German and Italian backing, his army wielded firepower that crushed the Republic, and many of those weapons became infamous in World War II. Today, we count down the 12 guns that shaped Franco's victory. Number 12. Breda 30 Light Machine Gun. Starting our countdown at number 12 is Italy's contribution to Franco's arsenal, the Breda 30 Light Machine Gun. Mussolini didn't just send troops, he sent firepower. This Italian beast fired the 6.5 by 52 mm Carcano cartridge through a unique 20-round strip-fed system. Weighing just 19 pounds, it could unleash 500 rounds per minute of devastating fire. The Italians equipped entire nationalist units with these portable death dealers, using them for both mobile fire support and defensive positions. But here's the thing. Spanish soldiers often complained about the Breda's complex loading mechanism and its tendency to jam in dusty battlefield conditions. However, when handled by trained crews, its firepower still proved decisive in countless engagements. The weapon's mobility allowed Franco's forces to bring automatic fire wherever they needed it most. Number 11. Erma EMP Submachine Gun. At number 11, we have Germany's Erma EMP Submachine Gun, a weapon so effective that the Spanish later copied it as their own Star MP41/44. This German gun chambered the 9 by 19 mm parabellum round and a 32-round box magazine, with a cyclic rate of up to 600 rounds per minute and weighing just over 8 pounds. It was the perfect weapon for close-quarters combat. The 12.2-inch barrel made it compact enough for urban warfare while maintaining deadly accuracy. Franco's elite guards wielded these weapons during brutal house-to-house fighting and urban mopping-up operations. The Erma EMP famously saw service during the Battle of Bilbao, where nationalist commandos stormed the city's heart, relying on their rapid-fire superiority to isolate Republican strongpoints and clear buildings room by room. Number 10. MG-13 Light Machine Gun. Number 10 brings us to Germany's MG-13 Light Machine Gun. And here's where things get interesting. Over 2,438 of these weapons were confirmed delivered to Franco's forces, fundamentally changing Spanish infantry tactics. Firing the powerful 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser cartridge from 25-round box magazines, the MG-13 could deliver 600 rounds per minute while weighing just 22 pounds. Its 23-inch barrel proved excellent accuracy while maintaining portability that heavier machine guns couldn't match. Light, portable, and devastatingly efficient, the MG-13 enabled Franco's infantry squads to bring mobile firepower to attacks and ambushes. The weapon's debut at Guadalajara marked a revolutionary shift in Spanish skirmish tactics, when Franco's shock troops used it to lay down suppressive fire, while outmaneuvering Republican defenders through olive groves and mountainous terrain. Number 9. MG-08 Maxim Machine Gun. At number 9, we encounter the MG-08, Germany's version of the legendary Maxim machine gun that had already proven its worth in World War I. These water-cooled instruments of destruction arrived through German supply lines and battlefield captures. The MG-08 fired the 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser cartridge from 250-round canvas belts at a rate of 400 to 500 rounds per minute. Weighing nearly 60 pounds with its sled mount and featuring a 28.9-inch barrel, this was no lightweight weapon, but it didn't need to be. This was a tool of defensive slaughter. Entrenched nationalist units relied on its near-continuous fire and legendary reliability to hold critical positions. During the Battle of the Ebro, nationalist machine gunners with MG-08s held bridges and riverfronts against desperate Republican attacks, the weapon's distinctive sound becoming synonymous with death for advancing troops. But wait, if these machine guns were so devastating, why didn't they end the war quickly? Well, here's the truth. Spain's mountainous terrain and urban warfare scenarios often negated the range advantages of heavy machine guns. Republicans learned to use close-quarters combat, night attacks, and guerrilla tactics to get inside the effective range of these weapons. Number 8. Hotchkiss Mle 1914 Machine Gun. Number 8 features France's classic medium machine gun, the Hotchkiss Mle 1914. Through foreign supply channels and battlefield captures, these weapons found their way into nationalist hands. This French machine gun fired the 8x50mm R Lebel cartridge through 24 or 30 round metal strips. With a 31.5-inch barrel and weighing nearly 53 pounds including its tripod, it delivered 450 rounds per minute of sustained fire. The weapon's air-cooled design made it more portable than water-cooled alternatives while maintaining excellent reliability. Deployed on defensive lines, the Hotchkiss provided long-range sustained fire that decimated waves of Republican attackers. The cyclical click-clack of the Hotchkiss became a sound of pure dread for Republicans attempting to breach nationalist trenches. During the defense of Toledo, a single Hotchkiss section was credited with halting repeated Republican charges for hours, the gun's methodical rhythm marking time until reinforcements could arrive. Number 7. Mauser C96 Broomhandle. At number 7, we have the legendary Mauser C96, the broomhandle pistol that became an icon of the Spanish Civil War. This German-made sidearm was imported in considerable numbers by Franco's forces. The C96's distinctive appearance came from its wooden grip and unique design. Chambered in 7.63 by 25mm Mauser, it featured an internal 10-round magazine and a 5.5-inch barrel. Weighing 2.5 pounds and measuring over 12 inches overall, it was substantial for a handgun but offered capabilities no other sidearm could match. Even nationalist troops didn't just use the C96 as a pistol. They fitted shoulder stocks to convert it into a carbine for close combat scenarios. Veterans recall the psychological shock value produced by C96 volleys during sudden street ambushes. The weapon's distinctive appearance was enough to instill fear, while its rapid fire capability and high magazine capacity could hold off Republican counterattacks at critical moments. Number 6. Astra 400 Pistol. Number 6 brings us to Spain's own Astra 400 pistol. While this weapon appeared on both sides of the Civil War, nationalist forces enjoyed greater access due to their connections with the arms industry and Ibar. The Astra 400 fired the powerful 9mm Largo cartridge from an 8-round magazine. With a 5.9-inch barrel and weighing 2.6 pounds, it utilized a reliable blowback action that made it virtually foolproof in combat conditions. Spanish officers and military police particularly favored this weapon for its combination of power and dependability. The Astra 400 earned the nickname El Puro, the cigar, due to its distinctive tubular shape. Nationalist agents operating behind enemy lines often relied on the Astra for silent elimination of sentries and close-quarters work. Its solid reputation made it a weapon of choice for the most dangerous missions, where reliability could mean the difference between completing the mission and never coming home. Number 5. Star Model 14 Pistol. At number 5, we have the Star Model 14 pistol, another Spanish-manufactured sidearm that equipped nationalist officers and elite troops throughout the conflict. This domestically produced pistol fired the 9mm Largo cartridge from a 7-round magazine. With a 5-inch barrel, 8.3-inch overall length, and weighing 2.3 pounds, it featured a semi-automatic blowback action renowned for reliability and sturdy construction. Spanish arms manufacturers took pride in creating weapons that could withstand the harsh conditions of civil warfare. As sidearms, Star Model 14 pistols proved invaluable during brutal house-to-house fighting and for officers leading counterattacks in urban environments. Many Spanish officers credited their survival during sudden ambushes or close-quarter engagements to their Star pistols. The weapon's robust construction and easy field maintenance made it a trusted companion in the chaos of civil war, where a jammed weapon could mean death. Number 4. Mannlicher Carcano M1891. Number 4 reveals the scale of international support for Franco. Italy supplied vast quantities of Mannlicher Carcano M1891 rifles. We're talking about 250,000 Italian rifles that helped equip new nationalist recruits during the desperate early war years. The Carcano fired the 6.5 by 52 mm cartridge from a 6-round clip-fed system with a 31.18-inch barrel and weighing 8.7 pounds. The weapon's 51.18-inch overall length made it a full-sized military rifle capable of engaging targets at substantial distances. The Carcano's reputation amongst Spanish soldiers was decidedly mixed. Many disliked its lighter bullet, comparing it unfavorably to their beloved Mausers. However, the sheer numbers made them absolutely invaluable for arming the early nationalist columns that marched from Sevilla toward Madrid. When you need to arm thousands of men quickly, quantity sometimes matters more than perfect quality. But here's something that'll blow your mind. What if I told you that one of these rifles would later change American history forever? Yeah, a Mannlicher Carcano would become infamous decades later in Dallas, Texas. The same model rifle that armed Franco's forces in 1936 was allegedly used to assassinate President John F. Kennedy in 1963. Lee Harvey Oswald's weapon was a 6.5 mm Carcano M91/38, a later variant of the same basic design that flooded Spanish battlefields. History has a way of connecting the most unexpected dots across time and continents. Number 3. Mauser Gewehr 98. This is Germany's military rifle that influenced countless bolt actions worldwide. Massive shipments of surplus Gewehr 98s arrived in Spain, often rechambered for the Spanish 7mm round. Originally designed for the 7.92 by 57mm Mauser cartridge, but modified to fire 7 by 57mm in Spain, the Gewehr 98 featured a 5-round internal flush magazine with a 29-inch barrel, 49.3-inch overall length, and weighing 9.2 pounds. It utilized a robust 3-lug locking cock-on open bolt action. The weapon could achieve muzzle velocities up to 2,800 feet per second, with effective ranges reaching 1,000 yards. The Gewehr 98's legendary accuracy, devastating power, and absolutely bulletproof action made it extraordinarily popular among Franco's forces. It proved particularly valuable for long-range marksmanship during rural engagements and mountain fighting, where its precision could eliminate enemy officers and machine gun crews at distances other rifles couldn't match. Captured Gewehr 98s became known as fusiles alemanes, German rifles by Spanish soldiers. Stories abound of entire battalions armed with German surplus, fighting with remarkable tenacity in northern and eastern Spain, their improved firepower often deciding the outcome of critical engagements. Number 2. Flak 18 88mm anti-aircraft anti-tank gun. Coming in at number 2 is a weapon that would later terrorize the world, the German Flak 18 88mm gun. Introduced by the Condor Legion in small numbers, its innovative use against Soviet-supplied T-26 tanks completely changed the nature of armored warfare. This massive gun featured an 88mm caliber with a 15.1-foot barrel length. Weighing over 5 tons when in action, it could fire 20 rounds per minute with muzzle velocities reaching 2,690 feet per second. While designed for anti-aircraft work with effective ranges up to 26,247 feet, its true revelation came in the anti-tank role. Initially intended purely for anti-aircraft duties, the Flak 18 gained legendary status for obliterating heavily armored Republican tanks during the Madrid campaign. Just a handful of these guns could turn entire armored attacks, forcing enemy tank crews to reroute or flee rather than face their devastating fire. Reports from the front describe the 88 firing in direct line of sight at advancing T-26 tanks, knocking them out with single hits and breaking Republican offensives before they could develop momentum. The gun's fearsome reputation spread so quickly that tank crews began avoiding any exposed ground suspected of housing Flak 18 batteries. This weapon wrote the playbook for anti-tank warfare that would later dominate World War II. But here's the ultimate question. If the 88 was so devastating, why didn't Germany send more of them to ensure Franco's quick victory? The answer reveals a shocking truth about Nazi strategy. Hitler actually didn't want Franco to win too quickly. Germany was using Spain as a testing ground for weapons and tactics they planned to use in World War II. A prolonged conflict gave them more time to experiment, train their pilots and crews, and observe how their equipment performed under real combat conditions. The Spanish Civil War was Nazi Germany's dress rehearsal for global conquest, and they needed the show to run long enough to perfect their deadly craft. Number 1. Mauser M1893. And at number 1, the weapon that truly won the Spanish Civil War, the iconic Mauser M1893, forever known as the Spanish Mauser. This isn't just any rifle. This is the gun that defined Spanish military power for nearly half a century. Designed by Paul Mauser himself and adopted by the Spanish Army in 1893, this rifle had already earned its deadly reputation in the Spanish-American War and the Rif War between 1920 and 1927. By the time of the Civil War, it was the backbone of the Spanish military might. The M1893 fired the excellent 7x57mm Mauser cartridge from a 5-round flush staggered column box magazine. With a 29.06-inch barrel, 48-inch overall length, and weighing 8.8 pounds, it featured a cock-on close action with 2 forward-locking lugs. The weapon achieved 2,330 feet per second muzzle velocity, with effective ranges of 500 yards, though maximum range extended to 2,000 yards. Its 4-groove right-hand twist rifling provided exceptional accuracy. The Mauser M1893 was distributed widely among both factions, but Franco's forces benefited from massive stores of Spanish Mausers, plus surplus rifles obtained from Germany and other Allied sources. Its rapid stripper clip reload system gave nationalist soldiers a decisive edge in firefights, allowing for sustained volleys and swift re-engagements that could break enemy attacks. Spanish Mausers played critical roles in the Siege of Madrid and countless urban battles, prized for their accuracy and rugged reliability that never failed when lives depended on it. Veteran accounts recalled the devastating effectiveness of Mauser's high-velocity rounds at halting Republican advances, especially at longer ranges where other weapons failed. Some nationalist sharpshooters became local legends for their ability to single-handedly hold entire streets or outposts using nothing but the M1893, often outshooting enemies armed with less dependable surplus guns. The rifle's stripper clip loading meant that defenders could maintain a relentless rate of fire compared to opponents fumbling with slower loading mechanisms. This weapon was a foundation upon which Franco built his victory. Every major nationalist success, from the early marches out of Spanish Morocco to the final assaults on Republican strongholds, was made by the reliable, accurate, and deadly Mauser M1893. When the war ended in 1939, it was Spanish Mausers that stood guard over Franco's new Spain. The Spanish Civil War served as a deadly laboratory where nations tested the weapons and tactics they would later use in World War II. And the guns that helped Franco win became the template for modern warfare. But here's my question for you. Do you think the Spanish Civil War would have ended differently if the Republic had access to these same weapons? Would superior tactics and motivation have overcome Franco's firepower advantage? Or was the outcome inevitable once Germany and Italy committed their support? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this countdown fascinating, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time.